Welcome to Biz Coach and Coffee, where our guests are experts, entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants that share tips, strategies, and tactics to help small business entrepreneurs grow their business for long-term success. Please welcome your host, Biz Coach Steve Feld. Well, hello and welcome everyone to Biz Coach and Coffee. I am your host, Biz Coach Steve Feld. And my goal is to stop business owners from suffering entrepreneurial depression and start making running their businesses much easier. Business owners and entrepreneurs hire me to crack multiple and even multiple seven figures without burning themselves out. And today we have another wonderful guest for you. We have Michael Davis. Now, Michael, he's a trainer, a speaker, and the founder of Speaking CPR, author of the book on storytelling, and has an upcoming book called Your Stories Suck and How to Make Them Awesome and Unforgettable Today. Great title. He's a TEDx speaker. Clients' videos have been seen by over 5 million times. His mission is to help business leaders and other speakers save time, energy, and frustration he experienced to master the art of storytelling, so that you can speak with more influence, impact, and persuasion. Please welcome Michael.
Thank you, Steve. Great to be with you today.
Great to have you. So tell us, how did you get started in, storytelling and speaking?
My journey started on a desk in first grade. I got in trouble one day for breaking a class rule. So my teacher said, well, Michael, since you love getting so much attention, I'm going to let you stand on your desk during nap time so everyone can see you. Oh, okay. So a couple hours later, there I am. The lights are turned off. You can hear the rain pelting the window. Kind of chilly in the room, and you can smell the cupcakes and chocolate chip cookies for the party we're going to have later that day for a classmate's birthday. But I'm not thinking about any of that. All I can see are my classmates who are not sleeping. They are silently taunting me. They're making the faces and they're pointing and look at him, he looks stupid. And this goes on and on. And all I can think about is just, please let me get off this desk. Please let me get down. I'll never be bad again. And this goes on for 35 minutes. And when my teacher finally says, you can get down now, I hope you learned your lesson. Oh, I did. I learned a lesson. Never stand in front of people again. That was awful. And for the next 25 years, it was like I was chained to that desk. I would not do anything that would put me in front of a group unless I was told to. Well, in the ultimate irony, 25 years go by, I'm now a certified financial planner. And part of my job is to give retirement planning workshops in order to attract new clients into our firm. And one day my boss called me in, and the gist of our meeting was, Michael, your presentation skills are lousy. Your stories suck. Ergo, the title of the new book. And you got to fix this or we're going to let you go. So that was the day I had to face this old fear that I had actually buried, Steve. I'd forgotten all about it. And from that day forward, that was in 1994, I started studying the craft of public speaking and understanding why people are afraid to do it, and ultimately realized, hey, there are repeatable processes that we use. And the heart of public speaking is storytelling. And over time, people started asking me for help. I got better at the craft. I overcame a lot of those internal obstacles and got good enough where people started asking me for help. And I realized this is what I love to do. This has felt like a calling to me. Financial planning was a job. This was a calling. So I started this company in 2010 on a part-time basis. That 1 hour on a weekend, kind of part-time, and it just grew over the next 8 years to where I decided I was going to make this a full-time job and do this for the rest of my life, which brings me to be with you today.
It's amazing how that one moment in our childhoods, I want to say with the majority of people, because they have similar stories about being called up in front of the room in elementary school, has traumatized us to not be us and share our message to the world.
Yeah, and I think we all have, and I call that we're chained to that event. And until we consciously decide I'm going to break those chains, they hold us back. And there was not one moment where I could say, yep, broke the chain. I mean, it took over time, took too long, frankly, because I tried to do it myself for about 7 years until I got some mentors. But there just came a day I realized, hey, that no longer holds me back.
Right. I'm the same way. Every position I've had, owning 7 businesses and running 3 others, I always had to be in front of the room and talking everywhere. And it just killed me to be up there. Inside, I'm dying. Everyone's going like, wow, you seem really relaxed on the outside. I'm like, I need a brown paper bag. I'm hyperventilating. I'm about ready to pass out. I don't remember a word I said, nothing. And yeah, I sought out that help. I actually went to Toastmasters and I gave a speech on glossophobia, #1 fear in the world. And once I did that, everything, my whole world shifted. And now I get paid to speak. I'm on TEDx, and it's changed my life. And I think that's so important for many business owners and entrepreneurs. You don't realize even that 10 minutes at a networking event, how critical that is. So what do you think if someone has that anxiety, just to get over it, just to get in front of their networking group, the people they see all the time, don't get all wound up about it. It's an exciting moment. What can they do to get over that? Like, ugh.
Well, first, the most powerful action you can take is to practice your presentation, whether it's 30 seconds, 60, 5 minutes, doesn't matter. The more you practice, and the more you get in front of people, you're participating in a concept called systematic desensitization. It means the more you do it, the less nervous you feel. Doesn't mean you get rid of your nerves, by the way. You're just controlling them. They should be there. I'm nervous every time I stand up because I want to serve the audience and want them to have something positive from the experience. And it's not about, how does my hair look today? Oh, how's my suit? Are my shoes shine? That doesn't matter. People don't remember that if you give them a memorable message. But preparation, practice over and over again. One of my mentors taught me years ago, 100 times. Some people look at me like I have 5 heads and they say, are you kidding? 100 times? Well, if you're going to a networking event, typically that's 30 to 60 seconds. Mm-hmm. In real time, that's 30 minutes of practice all the way up to an hour, 100 times. You mean to tell me you don't have 30 to 60 minutes? And I'm not saying you have to do it today. Do 5 times a day, practice your 30-second or 60-second talk. Within a month, you will have it nailed down and it'll be authentic and you won't get nervous about it. Is that not worth your time?
Exactly. That's a great tip. It's just practice, practice, practice. It's so easy. And you even mentioned like, yeah, you still get the nerves. I've learned it's now, yeah, do I get nervous when speaking in front of people? It's a different kind of nervous. It's excitement.
Yes.
So it's this, believe it or not, having anxiety and excitement are the exact same physical and mental properties that you experience as a human. Mm-hmm. Exactly the same. The difference is your mindset, making it anxiety or excitement. So think of it, you're excited. They're here to hear you speak. How great is that? You're the expert.
Yeah. And as long as you're focused on giving them a message that will benefit them. And this is a challenge I see with some people, Steve. It's like, well, they're here to hear, they're up there to hear me. Mm-hmm. I have to remind all my clients, keep this in mind, that the event is going on with or without you. Exactly. Right? You can add value to the event, but if you couldn't make it, I promise you somebody else would fill in for you. So don't get caught up in, hey, they're going to see me no, they're going to hear your message. Huge difference. Absolutely. I had to learn that the hard way.
Oh, the way I look at it's like, I better deliver value.
Exactly.
Because I want them basically, and this is something one of my coaches taught me, is like, have them begging for more when you're done. It's not about you, it's about your message and how you're helping and serving them.
Well, that's a really good point, Steve. One of the challenges that I see and everybody I work with is we're all experts in our own fields and we all suffer from the curse of knowledge. meaning we know it so well, our topic, that we forget what it's like not to know it. So we tend to spew all of this information on people. And this is why storytelling is so important. People do not need more information from you. They can go to their cell phone right now and get far more information on your topic than you will ever be able to give them. What they need is your perspective, your insights, your wisdom, your struggles, your strife, your success. They need your perspective on the topic. And the way to do that is through your stories.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break and listen to a word from our sponsor, but we're going to come back. We're going to get Michael to talk about storytelling and how impactful that is anytime you're in front of the room. We'll be right back.
This episode is sponsored by Spotlight Books. Get your expert book completed in 30 days. If you don't have an expert lead magnet book about you and how you serve your market, then visit www.spotlight-books.com. Link is also in the show notes. Put a spotlight on your expertise.
And we're back with Michael. We're going to be talking about, now, Michael, storytelling's your gig, your thing, your jam. How important is it for any presenter anywhere in the world to throw in stories into their presentation?
Stories are important. However, I'm seeing in recent years, and you're a speaker too, Steve, you've seen this, there's a proliferation of people getting out there and saying, tell your story. It's become a hot topic, and that concerns me because hot topics tend to disappear, and storytelling is not going to disappear. So the reason I wrote the story, the title of my new book is Your Stories Suck. It's not just to be provocative. It's not just to mean that your stories aren't good. It also means stories now are sucking the lives out of audiences because they're not following a proven structure. It doesn't mean your story should sound formulaic and sound like everyone else, but there are key elements that need to be in there if you want your story to have impact. And I'm seeing more and more stories that don't. They're just coming across as information-laden reports, which stick it on a PDF and send it out. Story has to have an arc, and it has to have some conflict, and it has to have resolution of that conflict. It also has to be relatable to the people listening to you, or else don't tell it.
There you go.
Otherwise, you got entertainment. And I think stories should be entertaining, but they also need to be informational. If it's strictly entertainment, people are going to check out because they can go to their phone right now, hop on Netflix, YouTube, and get all the entertaining stories they want. They need that combination of informational with your perspective that is also entertaining.
That's a great point. I mean, one of my coaches even mentions, like, okay, if you have a point, have a story to back up the point. And if you tell a story, it has to have a point related to your subject.
Correct. And that's what I'm seeing a lot of times. I was working with a client today. He's a really smart guy. He had 5 points in a story. And I said, you're killing your audience. They don't know what to do. And he said, that's the feedback I'm getting. So, and what I worked with him on, and this is very timely, so often we work so hard on our story and we start we get all this feedback and we start layering pieces on top of it. I told my client today, I said, we've got to stop the process. And we're going to go back to square one, which is write out an outline for me. I want you to tell me, what is the main point you want people to walk away with? Got that? All right. Now, how are you going to support that point? A couple of stories with a couple of sub points. And then how do we open it? How do we conclude it? What's the call to action? But he got it so convoluted, which happens.
Yeah.
So we got to step back and let's take a look at this with a fresh pair of eyes. Let's go back to the basic format of what you're trying to do.
So I just tried to help one of my coaches. He was trying to put the whole kitchen sink into a 10-minute presentation. I'm like, whoa, what's the one thing you want to let this audience share? What do you want to share with this audience? One topic, one thing. And they're like, but. And it's like, one thing, just one. And it took us like an hour for him just to figure out the one. I go, okay, now let's just work on the one. That's the only thing you're talking about for 10 minutes.
Terrific example, Steve, because that's the hardest part of storytelling and speaking in general is working on the upfront. What is the one point I want people to walk away with? Once you've got that, everything else slides very smoothly into the structure, because if it doesn't support the point, it doesn't get to participate in that story, right? I've got a couple of great stories that I absolutely love, and I can't use them in my speeches because they just don't serve a purpose other than entertainment.
Yeah.
And I know because I tested them over and over again, and I tried every way because I just love the story so much. And finally I said, this isn't about me, it's about the audience. I have to serve them, and the story was confusing them. So I just took it out. But it's all because I understood what's the one point I want them to walk away with.
There you go. And I think that's where a lot of like small business owners and entrepreneurs, they're trying to put the whole kitchen sink. Here's the house, the sink, the lawn, everything. I'm going to shove it in, and it just confuses everyone. It's like, what's that one point?
Yeah. Here's a great question to ask yourself if you're listening to this. Turn the tables, right? Create the first version of your talk, and then turn the tables and pretend you're the audience member. And say, if I were to listen to all of this information, would I be inspired to work with this person? And if you're listing everything you do and all this potential, I can tell you what the answer is right now. It's no. You're not going to be clear because it's just a list of facts and figures. It's like going to, well, I'm going to date myself, yellow page ads, right?
Yeah.
We go in the old phone book and you see these ads and it lists everything. Or go to a website. Most websites list 58 things somebody can do, but they're not pinpointing how they can help you and showing you that they understand your problem. That's what people want to know. Do you get me? Do you understand my problem? And once you do you know how to solve it? Do you have a plan? But they don't want to know about the plan or your background until they know that you understand them. And that's what a good story will do.
That's so true. I've been in a speakers bureau for a long time, and I was running it for over a year. And our litmus test was to all the speakers that were presenting, would you pay $10,000 to hear that presentation?
Yeah.
And sometimes the speaker got done, and the litmus test, would you pay $10,000 to hear that presentation? They would go, no. It's like, well, good. We're being honest and working on it.
That's right. That's a starting point.
Now, storytelling, could that be used for anywhere? Like even that 30, 60-second elevator pitch, could that be a great story time?
Yeah, the opening story I told, I have shrunk it into 30 seconds. You know, the reason I do what I do today, I was humiliated in first grade so badly that I wouldn't talk in front of a group for 25 years until my boss challenged me. He said, if you don't become a better speaker, you're fired. I had to find a way. And because I found a way, I now help other people because I understand the pain of regret, of frustration, humiliation, and I want to help people get their message out to the world. 30-second roughly of a longer story. So you can take your longer stories and shorten them, and they should serve multiple purposes.
Right. So you just made a great example. So now they can, or hopefully our listeners can take their elevator pitches, turn it into that short story. But as you notice, did Michael really get in about him? No. He was saying how his journey was and how he's now helping people and what their problems are and how he's helping overcome those problems.
Well, it's a good observation, Steve, because what I didn't do in there is my background. Here's who my clients are. Here's what I offer. And here are my fees. Because again,
right,
I intentionally put in there that I understand the fear, the humiliation, the embarrassment, and the regret of missed opportunities. Who doesn't understand? And now they know, hey, it's a door opener. And I also teach people, look, stories are not going to make the sale for you. That's not what they're for.
right.
They're to open a door enough so that you can stand out from the crowd to people said, okay, I'm going to open this door enough to have you tell me some more to see if we should meet. And that's all it's supposed to do. And if you structure it right, people will say, there's something different about this person. I'd like to hear more.
That's it. I know a good example. I got to watch or hear and see Terry Bradshaw speak at a conference. He comes up and comes right out of the gate. Look, folks, I'm not a professional speaker, even though they're paying me to be here. He goes, I'm a football player. I have a farm. with cattle and horses. So let me tell you about my days of playing football. That's what I know. And all he did was tell stories, but they all came in alignment. And then at the end, he wrapped it all up in a bow with a learning lesson. So you're thinking he's telling you stories the whole time, but at the end, he wrapped it up with a point. And everyone wanted more.
Yeah, and contrary to his admonition, I'm not a professional speaker. He really is, if he did it that well. Because I've heard the celebrity speaker who gets up and just tells these great stories. Like, well, what was the point? Yeah. They're primarily speaking, the celebrity speaker is there to put behinds in seats.
That's it.
And I haven't heard Terry speak, but he's the exception to the rule, which is a pleasant surprise to hear that he actually left people with something to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, I was shocked. He wrapped it all up and he goes, listen, out on the field, I had to be the leader. But do you think I did it by myself? No, I had support, coaches. I can't do it without my teammates, just like you and your business. And he wrapped it all up like that. And it was like, he left everyone going, oh.
That's what you just said is really important. And there's a myth, I think, about speaking in general. And that is that the goal of the speech should be a standing ovation. And I couldn't disagree with that more. What you just said is my goal every time I speak. It's not a standing ovation. It's not a lot of applause. I want people sitting there thinking, I never thought of that. And my goal, my dream after speech reaction, Steve, is total silence. I walk off stage and people are just sitting there. Oh my God, I never thought of that before.
Yeah.
The applause and the standing ovation is all about the ego, and I don't need that. I need people. What drives me is knowing that I just changed their lives and by thinking differently and taking some new action.
That's a fantastic point. Well, on our show, our guests always give away something to help our listeners improve their business or their lives. What do you have to offer for our listeners?
Got a resource called 52 Storytelling Insights. What this is, it's a weekly 5-minute audio lesson that comes right to your email inbox. It has a PDF transcription of the lesson. It's my list. I don't sell it, so nobody else gets it. And occasionally you'll get some other mailings in between about some different resources, but no cost, no obligation for that. You're going to put as we talked about earlier, nobody writes down URLs, but it's 52 Storytelling Insights.
Yeah, we will definitely have that URL in all the show notes. So please take advantage of Michael's offer. Start utilizing storytelling throughout anytime you're interacting with someone else. But have a point to it, like Michael was saying. Have a purpose to it, not just to be telling great stories. That's all good. Our grandparents did that. Told great stories that had no points. And he kept going, why are they telling me this? Well, Michael,
we were saying, when will this end?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like, okay. Back in the day, that was pre-cell phone with the grandparents.
Yes.
We couldn't check social media while they were going on. But Michael, thank you so much for being here. Any final parting words?
Yes. One of the biggest goals I get from people is I want my story to be perfect. And I say, no, you don't. Your story should never be perfect because you're not perfect. Yeah. People don't want perfection today. What they want is connection. And the way you do that is you tell a story and you're going to occasionally stumble. You're going to forget something. Nobody knows your script. Only you do. Don't worry about that. Go up there and be authentic. Perfection is not authentic. Go up there, speak from the heart, tell your journey, your what I call your flaws, your frustrations, and your failures, and then share your successes, and you will connect with people.
Oh, that's fantastic. Michael, thanks again for being our guest and sharing your knowledge and helping our listeners improve their business and their lives.
Thank you, Steve, for being a gracious host. Appreciate it.
Folks, I hope you love Michael and all our other experts. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel so you can hear other experts that can help you in growing your business and improving your life. This is Biz Coach Steve Feld wishing you and your business much success.
We hope you enjoyed today's topic. If you'd like to discuss how you can apply these strategies in your business, let us know. This episode is sponsored by Spotlight Books. Get your own expert book written about you in 30 days. Set yourself apart from the competition. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Also, feel free to give us your comments. We look forward to hearing from you on Biz Coach and Coffee.